Hey guys, welcome back to We Watch Movie. I'm Mike.
I'm Jay.
And this is for Hannah McDonald.
God, it sounds like Hannah Montana went into the witness protection program. It does.
Came out an entrepreneur in the fast food industry.
I love your chicken nuggets. It's so good.
Hannah McDonald asked us to do the Boondock Saints.
Or in RedTube coming this fall, Boondock Taints. It's going to be a great show, and I hear the acting is superb. Yeah, Boondock Saints. Listen, the thing is, I gotta say about it is, I didn't hate it. I thought, you know, there was.
We thought we were gonna hate it.
There was a long running gag that when someone's like, "Hey, you got to check out the Boondock Saints." It's like, well, I gotta do a lot of things, but I'm not gonna do it. Thanks. But it's actually not a bad flick at all. I almost feel like it's on purpose. It's an on purpose parody of things that happen, like of Smoking Aces or Goodfellas or something. I feel like it's a parody of those particular films, and then it's not. But I always feel like the director was like, I'm trying to make a joke, but then I kind of having fun with it, so I like the gangster attitude.
See, I see it the other way. I see it as a guy who thought he was going to make his Goodfellas. He thought he was making a Godfather, right? He thought he was making a mob epic, and he had the cool parts. He had the really cool parts, like the badassery and like the fighting and like the violence,
yeah, it was
and
all
the
there.
sex and all that stuff. That was all there, but it was in a fucking scope of like a Hallmark Lifetime film. It was like weird and corny, but it had all the cool stuff too.
Yeah,
you know?
It's like any guy in high school that's ninth grade, and their whole purpose is, I'm going to go through 9th to 12th, and I'm going to be somebody. I'm going to get all the best grades, and I'm going to make it in the business world. And then they get introduced to shrooms in 10th grade, and it never happens. And they become Bam Margera.
Shrooms will get you.
They become Bam Margera, a fat loser that has to have fucking people file restraining orders against him to stay away, because you can't stay sober for $5 million.
That wasn't Shrooms, man. That was a lot of other stuff.
Anyway, yeah. So I will say, it's a fine movie. Sean Patrick Flannery, by the way, played Powder. And
That's fucking.
I didn't. He's such a handsome looking guy, and he's got a great Scottish accent. Or is it Irish? I guess they were Irish. He's an Irish accent. Yeah, and he's got a great Irish accent. And I'm like, that's the same guy that let Jeff Goldblum rub his bald head? That's him?
Those two in this movie, like, what they were as like a pair, it was supposed to be like a buddy cop / like a Goodfellas type movie. Yeah. But what they were is they were like they were like Teen Beat for like new metal goth people. Like they were so like new metalish with their spiky hair, and they're like, I don't give a fuck attitudes. It was like very, very Teen Beat Goodfellas, and it was weird, and it mixed in well. And sometimes they would do these things, like when they would wake up at the same time, and since they were brothers, they would always have like the same thoughts.
That never happened to me and my brother.
It was supposed to be cool and like this best friend thing, or when like in one instance they were taking one guy out to kill him, and the other guy was like, ah! He was like going crazy. It's like they tried so hard to force that friendship and that deep connection that it was corny as fuck. But honest to God, like if Goodfellas or The Sopranos were like Teen Beat or Vogue, it would be these two, and it never worked. But it was like it was weirdly charismatic. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like you weirdly liked it anyway.
This would be like if The Sopranos smelled like pee. It's a watered down version of some of your favorite classics. But yeah, overall enjoyable. Norman Reedus is the brother of Sean Patrick Flannery in this, and Norman Reedus struggles very badly with trying to do that Irish accent, because sometimes it don't come out as an Irish accent, and I'm like, look,
and I don't know if he's Irish or not.
He's not. No, Norman Reedus, fuck no.
Maybe deep down his lineage.
Norman Reedus sounds like a dude that you went to high school with in Arkansas that got busted for a meth lab. But no, he kind of looks like it. But you know, I like Norman Reedus. He's actually a pretty funny guy, and he's great on The Walking Dead.
Sorry, I gotta get the door. I just realized he was outside. We left it now! Clark! Come on! Clark! Come on! I can just leave that in.
Whoa.
I'll just leave it in. I'll look out the window and saw Thor. I was like, fuck, he's gonna eat somebody.
I was doing Mr. Bean shit. But Norman Reedus is he's a great actor. He really is a good actor, and he's a good guy, supposedly. But here's the thing: when you think Norman Reedus, I don't like the name alone doesn't inspire Irish ancestry. When you say Norman Reedus, it's like going after Bob Johnson and saying he's an Irishman. What? But Norman Reedus looks like he hung out in the crowds in the mosh pit of something like Pearl Jam, and you're like, hey, you're going to be Irish today. And he's like, what? I'll do my best. But overall, I will say that the relationship between Norman Reedus and Sean Patrick Flannery does work a little bit on screen. It actually works pretty well on screen. There's one particular scene when they're fighting in the vents that I could see not only my brother and I doing that, but Mike and I doing that.
Yeah.
Like actually getting into a fist fight when we have to bang down and knock out some motherfuckers for real, and we're gonna get into a fist fight about a rope, or like that we're crowding each other. I did enjoy a lot of it, and William Dafoe is the fucking master.
Dude, William Dafoe is fucking... This is one of his best performances.
Let me explain. Willem Dafoe, because people get pissed, like, it's not William.
Yeah, but it's okay. It's on Patreon. They won't give us bullshit for that.
Oh,
but,
good.
You know, dude, this is one of his best performances.
It really is.
It's one of his best wild, over the fucking top.
Did you feel weird when he kissed that guy and he sucked his lip?
It was wild, dude. It was wild. He went for this fucking
I kind of got a weird boner, and I'm like, I can't do that with Willem Dafoe.
With the pink lipstick?
Yeah, but I didn't like it. But it kind of grossed me out. It's kind of like when we watched, what was that movie with Professor Xavier? Dirt?
Oh, yeah, James McAvoy.
Not Dirt.
Filth.
When he did that, and he was dressed in drag, and like he sucked that dude's lip, and I'm like,
yeah. But he was pretty attractive as a female. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
But it kind of felt like I peed my pants a little bit, and I'm like, because I got a little half a chubby, and I'm like, why?
If you guys,
but he goes all in.
Yeah,
Willem Dafoe goes all in.
If you guys don't know, he's the investigator, but he shows up, and I like that one shitty cop's like, here's what fucking happened. Okay, this guy came in, he fucking hit this dude with a fucking toilet. This guy came over, and Willem Dafoe shows up, and he's from the FBI, and he's like, he puts in his headphones, he's like, he's the actual real deal badass fucking detective dude. The guy's like, who the fuck are you? He's like, that's who the fuck I am. He's like, go get me a fucking bagel. Like, that shit was great. But Willem Dafoe was so over the top, and he got so obsessed with because what these two are doing is and it's the stupidest story ever, because they're in church one day, and all of a sudden they hear the preacher say that, hey, it's bad when good men don't
but they have
do what needs to be done. Yeah, and they decide that they have a vision when they're in jail one night, and they decide, hey, we're just going to go kill a bunch of fucking people. We're going to go Batman Vigilante. We're just going to kill everybody who's
like
bad.
The pipes were leaking and hit him in the fucking face, and they decided we're going to go kill bad guys.
And they woke up like, oh!
Yeah, and I love the shot, by the way, that you get to see their perfectly sculpted abs and their pectoral muscles, and they're all wet from the leaky pipe, and that's like,
they're the hot new metal guys from high school.
It's like, Jesus Christ, Oasis has changed.
But what Willem Dafoe does with this role, he's supposed to be investigating these murders, but he discovers eventually what they're doing, and he decides that he likes it. He wants a part of it, so he starts doing it with
a team up.
But dude, when he started, he's like, fuck! He's like, I fucking hate loose crime scenes. He's like, get the fuck out of here! When he goes out in front of that house, and he's like, they're like, what happened? And he's like,
that was the best.
And he's literally he's replaying the whole crime scene, and he's like, he stretches his clothes off, and he's in the middle of the street like, ah!
Well, I love the fact that he becomes a conductor of a John Williams orchestra, and he's like, and then his hair gets fucked up, and he's like, huh? And then he was like, I can't figure it out. And then he finds the fucking finger, and he puts it in his pocket. That I think that was some of the best Willem Dafoe performances.
No doubt, dude.
And I'll tell you what, man, Willem Dafoe, he's that kind of guy that goes all in on any role that he does, and that's why to this day I would have loved. And I know we got what we got, and I'm still in love with what we got, but I would have loved also, Jack Nicholson got the role, but if Willem Dafoe had got Joker, man, he could have killed it. But yeah, Willem Dafoe is like, I think he's the most memorable part of the film. And I loved him so much, I was like, dude, and I know they made a sequel to this. Is he even in the sequel?
I don't even care to watch it.
Yeah, if he's in the sequel, I might watch it because Willem Dafoe is so powerful in it. Sean Patrick Flannery and Norman Reedus do fine. They do their job. They do their part.
They're kind of like TV actors in Willem Dafoe's Oscar film.
This was the lead up to The Lighthouse. Like, he's fucking ready to go. But he's also such a great, awesome actor that, I mean, I think anybody would pale in comparison to him. And they're like, hey, just be fucking Nicolas Cage crazy that if you were at a car dealership and said you can't afford this car, act like Nicolas Cage. And he's like, I got it. That's not on them. That's on, that's just how good he is. But yeah, I think that the movie is it flows decent, but there's also a lot of bullshit in it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of problems with it as far as like when you get to parts where they're talking about their mission or Like, you look, guys.
They do their like 10-minute prayer. And like, I'm gonna apologize. And you're supposed to think they're cool and serious. You're like, I don't buy this bullshit.
Look, the Blues Brothers had more of a convincing argument about why they're doing what they're doing than you.
Yeah.
You guys just woke up on a leaky pipe faucet and said, let's go kill bad people. Now, what I originally thought, because it had been a long time since I seen it, like, I'd watched 20, 25 minutes, turned it off, never watched it again. I thought... But when I watched it recently again for you guys, I thought it was, and I thought that would have been a better story, that the church itself, when transgressions happened that were sinful or bad, that there was a secret order.
That would have been cooler.
Yeah, there was a secret order that was like an old order from like the Middle Ages that they went out and dispatched hitmen to get the job done that the church couldn't do.
Way fucking cooler.
Yeah, and I thought that's when they were going to leave the church, that they were, when they walk up past everybody else and they're like, what are they doing? Yeah. I thought they were going to go up to the priest and the priest would be like, say a code word like
Vámonos Padres fucking kill us.
No, he would say Mountain Dew Red or whatever, but give them a code and then they got to go out and be hitmen. Yeah. I was like, that's what you got to do. Cool. That's what you got to do to get in America. But no, they didn't do that. They went and was like, hey, we're gonna have a leaky faucet. And
and you got the funny guy who was actually like, he was good.
Jared Leto light.
Yeah, Jared Leto with some eye mascara on. Like, he was like, the first half of him was good. Like, I was like, he goes in and the guy's like, hey, tell us a fucking joke. Yeah. And he's trying to tell a joke. He's like, no, say the N-word. He's like, yeah, that's what I said. I said the N-word.
The joke wasn't even that funny.
Yeah, that part was good. Like, I liked that part of the character, but then the movie decided, like, I feel like the directors decided they liked him, so they started focusing on him, and then he got annoying, and I was like, get that guy the fuck out of here.
That's just like me and Mike. You're attention whores. We need to have like, he overcompensated on everything. Yeah. I'm like, oh, I know that guy because I could see him in the mirror every day. But he was like, well, he's like, if there was a Diet Right version, if you guys know what Diet Right is, that's Jared Leto Diet Right.
Yeah,
and he really was. I think that dude was I think that guy was being gaslighted so much on set. I think the director was like, dude, you're powerful. This shit is so good. You're like, this is like top quality. Yeah. I want more.
Thought it was in a Tarantino film.
Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, dude, that's another thing. I think the writer, yes, this is a Quentin Tarantino absolute slim fast. This is Quentin Tarantino slim fast film, and you can't argue that, but I'm not saying it's bad because of it.
It has its highlights.
But was his name Funny Guy?
I just call him Funny Guy.
But he's that kind of guy that would be fucking butchered by Brandon Lee's The Crow within 10 minutes.
And he's also like, if you guys watch you watch Workaholics? You know the weird dude, the big dude that they always get drugs off of? Exactly. That's basically Funny Guy-ness. I did like that one part though. When he kills all those people and he shows up, he's like, I fucking killed dude. He's like, get your shit, let's go. He's like, we gotta go fucking down, dude. Go get your shit. And then his girlfriend's there. She's like, where's my fucking cat? And he goes over there. He's like, I'll tell you something about your fucking cat. He's like, I will blow my brains out right fucking now if you could tell me the color of your fucking cat. And she's like, he was gray. And he was like, God damn it. He's like, what's his fucking name? That
part scared me when he slammed the table and it fucking killed the cat. I'm like, holy shit.
That threw me.
But again, it's also one of those things, and I understand why a lot of people like. Well, no, I don't, because I'm not in that part of that crowd. But when people were like, oh my god, these guys are so cool, because he was like, I can't believe that fucking happened. Can you believe it? Let's hit another Hennessy.
I never thought they were cool. I just thought the movie was entertaining.
Look, Sean Patrick Flannery and Norman Reedus in that film. I think that if you were hanging out with them, first off, your clothes is gonna smell like cat vomit, and you're gonna smell like pee.
Smell like a Lucky You, the retail store.
Look, this movie, this is not an insult. I know it's gonna sound
Lucky
like
brand,
it. Yeah. Well, no, it's the skankitis of any really good film regarding the same. It's the skank version of Smoking Aces. I like it's the sister that you fucked that you never want anybody to know that you fucked because she has hair on her chin.
But still entertaining.
It was a good sex, but it was not so fun that you want everybody to know that you did it. Like, it's the Hall of Shame. But no, but yeah, overall, I gotta be honest. I really did have a good time watching it.
It's a 7 for me. Dude.
It's a 7 too for me. And again, I think it's I think what sells it is the relationship build between Norman Reedus and Sean Patrick Flannery does feel like legit. I feel like they actually were friends, so it feels like two friends making a movie. I don't get the brotherly thing at all, but I do feel like.
See, I thought that whole thing was kind of.
Well, I like the fact that they can do the scenes together, which the fighting and the events were really funny. But it's overall Willem Dafoe that sells the fucking movie. If you're gonna sell a movie that's substandard,
he's like an anchor for the whole fucking thing.
If we made if any movie that me and Mike put out is gonna, if we ever did, it's gonna be substandard. But if you get Willem Dafoe, it's gonna be halfway decent.
Yeah.
If you're like, hey, I'm gonna get Willem Dafoe and I'm gonna write a part just for him, and half our budget or 75% is going to Willem Dafoe.
Yeah,
it's a good.
It's like the Power Rangers movie version of Goodfellas. Mm-hmm. Like, it's like if a bunch of kids made Goodfellas with a lot of money and Willem Dafoe in the movie. That's what you would have gotten with this.
And did you not? I mean, again, I did think if the church thing had been the real thing, if they were the ones that putting out the hits,
that would have been cool.
If the church had a secret like organization that they put out hits on people to keep them quiet, or like you could even work that into like the pedophiles that existed in the Catholic Church, and they go to silence them.
Got down with that. I would have loved that,
because then you get into the Pulp Fiction style shit. Yeah. Then you get like. And yeah, you're right. I think this guy really admired Quentin Tarantino and those kind of films and was trying his best.
And I gotta moments. Give him.
Yeah, but it was not. But when the dialogue heavy happened and it wasn't Quentin Tarantino, you could know that it's not Quentin Tarantino.
And they try to over-edit it. Like, and like the title sequence happens. As soon as it starts, you're like, oh man, this thing is so overhandedly. Yeah. It's like heavy-handed, fucking edited. Like they would go like, you'd have one part of a scene and then they go to like 2 minutes of credits, and then you get another part of a scene. Like it wasn't that cool. You didn't need to put credits between it. Just fucking let it play out, man. But at the end of the day,
I feel like they should have had Sublime as their music choice. I like Sublime, but I feel like Sublime would have fit.
I'll say this though, like honestly, like I did the exact same thing you did. Someone recommended this movie to me years ago, and I watched 20 minutes of it, and I went, I don't care.
You can't.
And I turned it off. But because of you, we watched it again, and like halfway through, I was like, I'm having a good time.
I did, and you know what?
That's why it's a 7. It's a positive score.
But you got to get over that 25 to 35 minute hump, and that's what I had to do again.
You gotta realize what you're in for.
Yeah, because and we love you guys, so we're gonna watch any movie, even if it's a shitty movie. Please don't send us those. Those are terrible. Like those are really bad when we have to do those. But this wasn't terrible. But you get over the 25 to 35 minute hump, and you're like, okay, now I'm in for a good time. Because it happened again when I was watching it. I'm like, oh fuck. I was rolling my eyes after I figured out the church wasn't putting the hits out. I'm like, all right, so these are just like two jackasses that go and they work at
a dream.
They work at a meat factory and they smack each other in the face. They probably pick their butts and smell it. They're at a bar and they get mixed up with the mafia, the Russian mob. Yeah. But overall, yeah, it was fun. It was like goddamn the Naked Gun 4. With Hitmen.
It's like if middle schoolers made a really cool version of
But you know what I feel like
that would be Boondock.
You're talking about he's a big fan of Quentin Tarantino and has its moments, but then there's some moments that are just terrible. I feel like that's because when you write something down on paper and it sounds really good to you because you wrote it, and then when the day of filming actually happens and the person's got to perform it, and you're like, I've come too far. You've got to do it. I've come too far. Even though you know it's shit dialogue, you're like, dude, you got to do it because I don't know what to do. I can't rewrite this.
There's a cool story behind this too. I think it was one of the Weinsteins who met a dude in a bar.
That's always a cool story. What Harvey do?
Yeah, right. But it was like a dude who was a bartender or something, and he gave Harvey or one of the Weinsteins the script, and they were like bullish on getting it made. And they were like, this guy had never made a film before, but he made this movie, and they wanted to push it through and get it made. And I'm paraphrasing a lot here, but eventually that dude had a falling out with whichever Weinstein he was dealing with, and then they said fuck it, but the movie still floated out there, and then it eventually got made.
The rapist one or the regular one?
I don't know which one it was, but
well, yeah,
either way.
Yeah, dude.
Cool story.
I had a good time with it though.
Yeah, I loved it.
And this movie's good. This movie's good.
Hannah, thank you for being a Patreon. Thank you for being a friend.
Woo, woo, woo.
And we're continuing to power through these Patreon the commentaries and reviews that you guys do.
Let me point out really quick. I know it sounds like we're bashing the film. It's really, we're not bashing.
We have a positive score.
Yeah,
I actually enjoyed watching it.
It's a fucking 7, man.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, and again, if you guys out there that haven't watched it or maybe you were like us and you're like, I'm not going to
It's worth it to put it in your film.
Yeah, it's not bad to watch it.
Yeah.
And just for the fact that Willem Dafoe is so fucking awesome in it, you got to watch it.
It's a weird movie in that it's bad and it's good. Like, both at the same time.
But I did love... Honestly, he was perfection. Willem Dafoe in this was great. Yeah. He plays... and it's not
Oscar-worthy role in a B movie.
Yeah, he plays a very out there detective with fabulousness, as all I could say, and the way that he investigates a crime scene is top notch. And I would have watched a Boondock Saints with just Willem Dafoe investigating murders, and I'm like, that's it. Call it Boondock Willem. I'll watch that
shit too. But, and guys, if you're waiting for your Patreon review, I promise it's coming. We're working our way through them. We love your fucking faces. Thanks for being a Patreon. Thanks for doing everything that you guys do. We love you guys so much, and we really appreciate you.
Making our way downtown.
and away to the shortstop.
Dude, Thor growled. He went, "Don't you ever think making my way down, pump."